Hello, how are you today? Easel Talk 14, my friends, and welcome to the talk. You know what? This talk is about insight, and I will say insight is the number one best way to learn. Absolutely. Maybe you don't agree. Maybe you like learning by rote. Maybe you're like, you know what? I think a great thing to do is take a book like this and put it under your pillow at night. You'd be amazed how much information will seep up through that pillow. All right, we got 7 fundamentals of insight for painters today. Please get your coffee or your tea. Let's sit down. Let's go ahead and get this talk done. Get it on the road. Or get this show. Let's get this show on the road. I got a few different beanies. This is the light one. That way you can tell, other than the paintings changing in the back, that it's a different Easel Talk because they all look pretty similar. I know. What can I do? Okay, there are 3 ways to improve in anything, really, but we're talking about painting here because we're all into that. You got education, you got hard work, and you got insight. And this talk is about insight, my favorite way. My favorite way, because I've said it so many times. I've said it on individual little broadcasts over the years, but I think I said it last week. One good insight can totally change everything for you. So that's powerful. Okay. I just says it right here. We're going to cover 7 fundamentals of understanding and using insight to elevate your work. And that's what you want. You want your work better. That's why you're here. Maybe you're here because you're a big fan. Or maybe you just want to improve your painting. And let's try and get you some insight into insight. Okay? What is insight? It's a definition. I think this is Google. The capacity to gain an accurate and deep understanding of someone or something. But I would have broadened that. That's what it gave me. And that's an insight is it's having access to a penetrating idea or aspect of something you want to know about as well. So it's not just someone or something. I guess it's something you want to know about. I'm getting pedantic here. Real question. The definition tells us what it is, but it doesn't tell us how to attain it. Now, the way to attain insights, you got a clue. I mean, you're on YouTube, or you've got books, or you're just working and things come to you, right? Either way, you must be actively engaged in thinking about or pursuing the activity that you want to have an insight about. And who cares about insights? Really, you want just to make better paintings or have a greater ability to appreciate paintings. That could also be helpful. Let's keep moving. Okay. Sometimes my assistant says insight can be a slippery fish to acquire. That tracking's on me, man. It's on me. Maybe. Not for me, but maybe for you. Okay, the short answer. Insight's mostly arrived at through education and hard work. I just said that. You got to be engaged and working. Constantly, and for the painting, keep on down to the library or pick an artist here and there to investigate. Not artists you don't like, artists you do like. Obviously, and for my part, I don't care about art history at all. Well, I care a little bit. I do, but what I really care about is creating good paintings and learning. It's pretty hard actually to find out how the old guys worked. It's one of the reasons I wrote my book, which we'll talk about some more, and the new book. If we could have had video of George Ness painting, wouldn't that have been amazing? Wouldn't that have been so great? Oh my God. Yeah, learning about the amazing artists that came before us, and reading and working. These are some of the ways we can achieve insights, garner more insights. Fundamental number one. Ready? Early on, when you first started painting, you could go from one week to the next. You could just keep jumping and improving and getting better and better and better. And the insights, they come fast, they come furious. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit. And if you've ever had a fruit tree in your yard, you know what I mean. The fruits at the top, they're mixed, extra juicy, but usually the birds are the ones getting those. Because the birds can fly. Okay. As you progress, as you tip on down the painting lane, you got to work harder to get those insights. But they also will give you, they can really propel you at that point to a new level. I've made this drawing for student after student. Just imagine, you're moving along and you hit a wall. You move along, you hit a wall, and as you progress in your journey, those walls get higher. But when you break through, it really has extra meaning and significance because you've been working so hard at trying to get better. And anytime I can, I'm always improving. Like my whole thing lately has been like trying to accomplish things with looser, less fussy brushwork. Then sometimes though you'll walk away from the painting. The one I've got over here, which unfortunately user error destroyed the video footage. I thought, oh, maybe this is just too loose. But 9 times out of 10, when I get the footage home and I look at it later on that night, I'm going, okay, that's fine, it's good. Yeah, and on that sideline about the overly loose brushwork, it's good because it's important, I think, for your paintings to really communicate that they are paintings, not just some kind of slick digital thing or AI thing. We really want to see you using paint to interpret reality. That's what painting is. And, in the old days, the early history of humanity, they were painstakingly trying to duplicate reality almost photographically if they could. But of course, they didn't achieve photographic results. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, as you advance, insight becomes more subtle and deeply unconscious in many ways. It's no longer like, when you're first starting out, you might notice there's a huge difference between some whites, like titanium white with zinc and titanium white without zinc, and then suddenly your work's less chalky because you discovered you like the white with the zinc. Although I think it's good to hunker down with the real titanium and just put less in. I don't like that zinc. I'll tell you why. Zinc cracks. If you work on canvas, you shouldn't have a zinc white anywhere near your paint surface. Yeah. 2. The power. Recognize that one insight can change everything. One good insight can completely change the direction of your work. You might be under a lot of different misapprehensions before gaining that insight. Like, just recently, I knew I need to design where the boughs and the clumps of foliage overlap the sky, especially say like something like a forest scene, like a trail where you've got patches of sky peeking through. But I was wrong. The best thing is to have it loosely indicated and then let the sky define things. So that was an insight. Hard won. 15 years of painting before I really got there. And the improvement, pretty good. Pretty major on a highly difficult aspect of painting. So let's keep going. Yeah, the new book is all about insights. In fact, this outline here, is garnered from my chapter on insight, and I was re-reviewing it. I have to do my own proofreading. This is from I think I wrote it down, volume 3. And so I formatted it. I've got it ready, but I'm looking. I accidentally left out this whole chapter. It's in my text version, which the editors worked with, but it was supposed to come before Momentum, which we already did a great talk about. I'm going, whoa! I just lost my whole chapter on Insight. It's not there. But I put it in, and in the process of doing that, I thought this is really good. I'm gonna share this with all the peeps on the YouTubes. Yeah, because there's hundreds and hundreds of insights in that book. It can change your life totally, and it's designed that you could just pick it up, let something hit you, ruminate on it, put it down. Yeah. Both the there will be a digital version which will have no pictures, but lots of text. The same thing there, though. You could be, sitting there doing your business or whatever, and pick up your book and just read a little chapter, quick chapter, 1,500 words generally or less. That's a way. It's a good. I think it's going to be awesome. Anyway, we'll see what you think when it gets done next year. Fundamental number 3. Fundamental number 3. Learn from specific insights. Here's a few. I should dole these all out, one per an Easel Talk, but we're going to give you a bunch here. You don't have to make the painting look like the reference. The reference is just the reference. You change anything you want in that painting, and it may, when you do that, it may end up putting you into a place where you feel like you don't have any moorings or anything to hold on to. But it's better than just copying photos onto the surface of your board or canvas with paint. Come on, don't do it. Painting is its own thing. Reference is only there for inspiration. It's its own talk. It's a chapter in the book. Underpainting. These are great insights. But you know what? I want to give you lots of value all the time. And I got a wonderful comment last week. And you may have heard some of these before, but it's always good to get a little refresh, a little recap. Yeah. Underpaintings. Having an underpainting done makes everything else easier. Some artists like the big blocking approach. That's sort of like an underpainting too, really. But I like to have an underpainting done. I don't like to have it overworked. I don't like to have it overwrought. Although I will say, one of the great things about underpaintings is you can do that, and it hasn't ruined your painting. That if you have a tendency to overwork or overdo things, you can maybe express that tendency with your underpaintings, and then when you come in to do the color, just keep it fresh, man, or woman, as the case may be. The limited palette insight. You've heard it. Struggle with color. Struggle. Limit your palette. Just use fewer colors. Master those. Learn those. We have a whole video on the channel. There's videos on the channel. Just type in limited palette. You've heard from me, and we have an Easel Talk about it as well. So, and there's an Easel Talk playlist. I should point that out. So you could just have me going, man, for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna harp on that. Editing insight. Just because it's in the reference doesn't mean you should paint it. More the opposite. Focus on what's interesting in the reference and play that up. Focus on the aspect that really you want to dive deep into. I'm always saying this. Why did you want to paint it? What did you think was great about it? And a lot of times these ideas when we're starting out are wrong. But they're important because that is what you're having an emotional response to the scene. So that is what you want to express. And the better you get at expressing that, the more everyone's going to like your paintings and the more that they're going to feel you and feel your work. Okay? So let's keep going. I have a lot. The pre-mixing insight. Yeah. Wow, these could be... This could each one be its own talk. Yeah, premixing before the painting process starts. I'll premix. It could be 3 colors I premix, or it could be 14. Um, and quite often I will change those colors right before I start painting. But it's a great way for you to be looking at the reference. You got the underpainting done. Usually, you can do the premix before the underpainting. You can. I do sometimes. But I think it's great to do the underpainting, then do the premix, because it just gives you a chance to start breaking down all the colors. Because when you're going to go in and grab those piles of premix color when you're going in to do the painting. But you may have to modify them, but it just makes it easier for you. You've just simplified the process a bit. So that's a wonderful insight. The brush care insight. You're my little baby. Okay. I got some sitting here. Can I show you? That's from the painting session that failed yesterday. So I have a 2-step process. I could do a whole talk on brush cleaning. It's so important, but just the quick one. I do buy the pricey tub. I'm not going to reach around the camera. It's right behind the camera, so I'm not going to try and do that. I got everything set up. A tub of pricey brush stuff, and it's got a lot of oil in it, a lot of emollients in it, and so I use my jar with some soybean oil and a little screen in the bottom. I try and get all the paint off, and then I will put it into the brush stuff and let it sit. The professional brush cleaning stuff. Now that I have a tub of it, maybe I don't know, 1/4 of a kilo or something. I don't know how much that is. 200 grams. $70, $80 New Zealand. I don't know. That's our little New Zealand play money, but it's still expensive. But what I do is I let the brush sit there overnight with that on it. I try my best to get it all cleaned out. And then I have a bar of really nice soap, animal-based soap. Sorry, vegans, but that works absolutely best. If you gotta stick with the vegetable soap, you can do the coconut oil soap. Works pretty well too. Anyway, moving on. The ultimate insight. Whoa. The more you paint, the better you get. How many times you heard me say it? You gotta paint. You gotta paint every day. It might feel like, ooh, you know what? I feel like when I'm watching videos about painting, I feel like I'm working on my painting. Yeah, kinda. We'll be getting into that. We'll be talking about why insights just, floating around don't mean anything unless you actually make paintings. But I'm sure I've got that. We're on 3 right now. We're going to move on to 4. Did you know you could buy the book landscapepainter.co.nz? The book cost $65 US. Did you know? 4. The right insight can change everything. I just said this. I got it going on. Yeah, you could collect insights like trading cards, right? Like baseball cards, but they don't do you any good unless they're implemented. So back to the number 1 insight: the more you paint, the better you get, and that's the thing. So when I say something, you say, "Oh, I'm going to try that." Try it. Put it to work in your practice, and see how it works. You might notice that one of the insights on my list is the more you educate yourself, the better you get. Yeah, it's nice, it's fun, it's good, but it can turn into a time-wasting activity. It can turn into a stalling activity. And this is because painting's hard. I know it is, but the best thing for you to do, I don't know what's going on over there. Best thing for you to do is just paint your way through any problem. Just do a painting every day. And then so much of the problems you have will just sort themselves automatically. For any insight to be valuable, it must be put into practice. Otherwise, it's just another bit of knowledge you've collected. 5. We're moving on now. My goal is to make this a half-hour talk. But if it goes to 40, it seems like they all do, but that's okay. 5. Combine insights with other learning. There are other ways to learn. Rote learning can be very powerful. And in a sense, when you paint every day, it's kind of like that. Like, oh, I mixed this color before. You know, done this before. I've done that before. And you really cement that you're learning that way. Now, I don't have the definition of rote learning, but to me, rote learning is just when you repeat things over and over and over, and then you've got it. And that's definitely really important with painting. Now, it can also be, a double-edged sword if you're doing something the wrong way over and over. But I think my feeling is even if you're doing something the wrong way over and over, if you're gaining experience and you're working all the time, it's all good. There'll come a time where you'll see the light. Yeah, I'm particularly fond of insight as a method. I am a very insightful type person. I teach with insights. My favorite form of meditation is insight meditation, which is you basically just go, wow, here I am. I'm alive in the world. Wow, who am I? What is this? Instead of like, I know who I am. I know what this is. That's an insight. Number 6. Test insights for yourself. The action step. You found an insight in a book that seems especially pertinent to your challenges. Like I said, you can put that book under your pillow. It'll come right up into your brain. It'll be great. Yeah, you've got to. I recommend stopping and implementing. If you don't have time right then, I know some of you are busy. You got the kids and the family, and you gotta fit painting into your whole deal there. But make a little note. I got little post-it notes for that. Put a little post-it in my pocket. Try that insight. And you should every night, whether you got kids or whatever you got going on, carve out at least a half hour or an hour every night for your painting practice, and watch yourself grow and mature as an artist. It's amazing. Without that discipline, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of discipline. That's more of a system, right? So you set up a system where, okay, where's mom? Where's dad? Oh, he's painting. Oh, yeah. We know. We leave him alone for an hour so they can work on being a genius. That's 6. Which is, come on, assistant. Probably could have made these 5. 7. Hope I did that the right direction. Recognize insight when it arrives. I always try and they go traipsing by and you don't even notice, golden insights that are so valuable, but you're just like, oh well, what'd he say? Huh? You got me on in the background as you're scrolling. Is that what you're doing? Can you pay attention, please? Come on. Every video I do, 5 or 6 valuable insights are imparted. Yes, I know, a lot of times it's the same insights over and over. Pre-mix your colors, clean your brushes, get to work. Yeah, but have your eyes open. Look, pay attention, and then implement those. What's great for me is like, oh, by the way, I love comments, and thank you for just thanks, Mike, or yeah, this was instructive, this was helpful, or it's just a thumbs up. I got a commenter does that all the time. I love that because I'll give you several sentences in return because I appreciate it. You know, we gotta pimp the algorithm. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I get lots of nice feedback. It's really gratifying for me to hear that something I said helps somebody, you know. And, you know, we all got our mission to do, but we got to help other people along the way. We all, you know, just got to work together. Mm-hmm. Advance your journey towards mastery. You know me. I like that. That was number 7. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what it's on about here. It's getting a little bit obtuse, but insight is always available to us if we're looking for it. And we are accessing that as a way of learning and progressing, right? You've got to be looking for it, and when you see it, make a note. Sometimes, you know, don't assume you're going to remember stuff, right? Because hey, maybe you've noticed, but life is, you know, constantly moving, constantly changing. The thoughts that we access are constantly also moving and changing. So if something seems like it might be important to implement, make sure you do make a note. Yeah. Study the masters. Struggle through your difficult paintings. Just get through them, finish them, even if it's hard, because there's something to be said for finishing things, you know. And throw it away after you finish it. That's fine. If it didn't work out, that's all good. It doesn't need to stick around. And if you're doing a lot of paintings, I know I've been part of this insight time and again. Give me 200 Easel Talks, and then I'll give you another 200 iterations of that insight. The master principle, interrelation. Everything is connected to everything else. Every aspect of the landscape is connected to every other aspect. The composition is connected to the value structure. The value structure is the same thing as the color structure. You can separate them for the purposes of learning. It's in the new book. It's in the old book too. You want to talk about the book? We've been sending lots of books out, and where I don't always get the comments, so I want to like to. Can ya? Come on, please. I don't ask at the beginning. YouTubers to do that, I find that annoying. Before I start talking, be sure to like and subscribe. No, I've earned the like. I've earned it, haven't I? You're still here. Okay, well you can see the ad where I leaf through it, but this is everything you need. The new book is just more of it. Because we have to do that. That's how it works. You might have enjoyed the pizza you had for dinner last night, but it's lasagna for dinner tonight, right? Both Italian. Yeah, so every part of the painting's interrelated. It's not infinite. It seems like it could be, but this is what's great about painting is that it is complicated. It is difficult to pull off, but it is doable, even if you're not a genius. So, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. And so think of the insight. I mentioned it in lots of different chapters of the book, but when it's now its turn to come to the fore and be seen as its own distinct principle that is interrelated to all the other aspects and principles involved with painting. That's the way the book is. So the book is designed to pull up and fully explore each aspect in depth, but without being too repetitive. You know, trying not to be too repetitive. Good luck, Mike. Okay. Summary. The 7 fundamentals of insight. Understand how insight evolves. It's from the early easy wins to the hard slog, but the struggle's real and it's worth doing. Recognize how one insight can change everything for you. So that's why I'm collecting hundreds and thousands of. You just need one or two here and there as you're trolling on down the lane. Learn from specific insights. Study examples that moved others forward. And I gave you a nice list there. You got to put it into practice, though. That's number 4. Knowledge without action is a waste of time. You can combine insights with other learning, like the good old rope method, like the good old hard slog method. Yes. You got to test insights for yourself. It's one thing to hear it, but without trying it out and see if it works for you, I realize you're not like me. No one's like me. Trust me. No one's like you either. No one's like anybody. Come on. I don't even know if normal's a real thing. It's just a concept that we entertain. But my point being, what works for me may not work for you, but some things will. And even if I'm very different from you as a person, the painting process is a system. And if you're engaging with the system, then I've got insights that are going to help you. Let's keep going. And recognize the insight when it arrives. Don't be all, don't be flooding your brain with so much stuff all the time. You get all blasé about it. You get into this learning matrix, which I think people do, but ultimately, without producing paintings, you'll just be getting involved with something else. This channel isn't for those people, although you're welcome. All are welcome. Humans and non-humans alike are welcome to this channel. But this channel is directed to the painter who's fairly good, fairly decent, that wants to move to the next level. That's the journey to mastery. That's what Uncle Mike is always harping on about. That's what I'm good at teaching. So here we go. We're closing now. We're at 31 minutes. The goal. I've given you, my goal was to give you some insight into the principle of insight, and I think I've done that. So you can be a little more proactive with your learning and catapult your success into the upper stratosphere of landscape painting, which is where you want to be, and you can be. You can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. If you just take my one insight of doing a painting every day, small, probably, because it's a day, one painting, but every day, 300 in a year, how good are you going to be? 300 times 5 years? Oh, I don't remember what time. That's a lot of paintings, and you're going to be pretty awesome if you do that. So, everything I've said here, that's why I'm always harping on that. Yep. Insight's a way of learning. It's a powerful tool combined with hard work and other education. On its own, yeah, maybe not so much. It's only valuable when put in practice. Your assignment. I got work for you. As you continue developing, look for more insights. In fact, sometimes the best way to learn how to paint is to teach how to paint. So don't hesitate to start your own YouTube channel and start teaching people what you've learned. You could go, well, I shouldn't because I am not that great. But you've learned some stuff. You can help people. Like I was saying, I'm not that. You might be the one that's really good at teaching people the basics of painting, Like I said, I'm stronger, I think, on the taking you from good to great. But you might be the person that's good at taking people from they don't know their own name practically to where they actually understand how they could put a painting together, right? Yeah. Yep. Look for those moments of clarity that can transform your work. Be ready to recognize them and then arch. The promise. Insights have the power to elevate your practice in ways you never expected. Keep painting and learning and watching for that next breakthrough. Final thought at 34 minutes. Thinking about painting is not the same as actually painting, okay? Go make a painting. Do that now, okay? Turn off the interwebs here, and traipse on over to your dedicated working area. Ooh, that's wow. The light is changing. Oh, it's changing here. Oh, it's question and answer time. A lot of you don't take advantage of that, but you know what? If you had a part of the painting process that you were finding especially challenging, put it in the comments. Hey, Mike, how come you never talk about this? I don't mind even if I've talked about it just recently because, you know, Mike loves to talk. I'm basically an introvert, but I like to talk and I like to teach. And I'm so glad you made it this far with me. And that brings me to the next point. How can you support this artist? The like thing we mentioned, that's good. You subscribe. I only want you to subscribe if you want to subscribe. I mean, so you take care of that on your own. But give me the thumbs up if you got this far. Come on now. Little comments, that's nice. That's a support because let's face it, YouTube's like TV now. It's like massive. It's like the number one destination on the internet, I think. I could be wrong. But anyway, and they want me here doing my thing. I'm also Substack. That's why I like the Substack. I gotta remember. I'm sorry, I don't mind to keep talking about. But what I love about Substack is when I put something like this on Substack, an email goes out. It goes into your mailbox, and you can go, oh yeah, look at it or not. But at least you were aware of it. And then maybe that week it's too much going on. You can't think about painting. You can't think about Mike. But that's okay. You were aware of it, and you can look at it if you want. That's one. Number two, I work really hard to create great transcripts, and I'm getting better now at shortening them a bit. Not for the live ones. For the live transcripts, I like that to be comprehensive, long, and in-depth. But for the 15-minute blog posts, I've devised a way to limit that. So check those out because it'll hit the points. And, buy the book. Lots of you have been buying the book. Buy the new book. We want to, but we can't because you haven't put it. I'm working on it. It's going to be so awesome, so amazing, and I thank you. And you can donate on the website. Like I said last week, people have made some significant donations. I used to say you could buy a painting. I haven't got my act together there. That's one of my missions in the new year is to kind of get a little gallery section. The problem I had with it was like I put something up, I kind of forget it was there, and then I put it in a gallery. And then somebody would buy the painting from the site, and then I'd have to go, and so far I was always lucky in that the gallery you generally sold it. But that happened to me like 2, 3, or 4 times. I'm like, I need to come up with something else. So, but support me any way you can. I appreciate you. I appreciate you just getting this far through the video. And guess what? It's 37 minutes, so we've done pretty well. Until they come back with another talk, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you got something from it. It's a bit philosophical, this talk, but you guys like the philosophy, to talk about this stuff. So maybe you like this talk. Either way, I'll be back next week. This was 14. We'll be back for 15. And until I do come back, please do me a favor. Do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble. And like the power. Did you know you could buy the book? Landscapepainter.co.nz. The book cost $65.